everyone loves doing it.
I wanted it to be as hardcore and extreme as possible. I wanted to shock people.
Kids are always going to see stuff though and copy it.
What's the point of doing it in front of 20 kids?
There is some evidence that such individuals are naturally drawn to violence.
Let the bodies hit the...
The humble back garden, an addition to almost every house in the country. Perhaps areas like this would be great for ball games and messing around. But to some teenagers, areas like this are the perfect place to fight.
I'm sure that's what Chris Selby's used to.
These are the competitors of East Norfolk Backyard Wrestling based in Great Yarmouth. In essence, it's a DIY version of the WWF shown on television, where friends fight each other in hardcore matches. In these battles, weapons like road signs, ladders, chairs, and tables made out of fence panels are used to beat each other up. These battles are taped and posted on the internet for everybody to see. A look at the ENBW website shows footage of barbed wire and fence panels that have been set alight, as well as other stunts. James Weston set up ENBW in 1999. His family knows that he wrestles, but don't know all the facts.
As long as we're not getting into trouble, they don't mind, but they say be careful. I don't think they know the pure extremities of some of the things that goes on. Sign shots are usually full on because the sign bends. It's still quite painful, but it's just they're full on. A lot of the stuff, if we have a Singapore cane, for instance, they're full on, and we've seen some pretty horrible stuff with people getting hit with them. People like to go all out, especially here. There's sort of like a lot of people there.
Because these teenagers aren't trained wrestlers, the risk of serious injury is high. On this occasion, it was only a badly bruised back. In the past, it has been a lot worse.
My friend here, Dale, is the injury king.
Dale Smith was one of ENBW's first stars, but chose to stop after a spate of serious injuries.
I've had 3 concussions. 2 of them are actually from James, my best friend, again. One of them was when someone landed on my head. Doctors thought when I went to the hospital I had a fractured skull and a blood clot on my brain. I've had a broken ankle. We was fighting on top of the garage. He kicked me in the face and I went to hit him and he ducked and he threw me off and I jumped off the garage. I was meant to land on my back and I wimped out at the last minute and I landed on my ankle, or my force on my left ankle. My mum knew, but she didn't want to have anything to do with it because she knew every time I wrestled that I'd come home injured. And I'd be like, oh, Mum, I wrestled today and got injured. I don't want to know about it. I'm going wrestling today, Mum, don't want to know about it. And James has also said, I don't think you should wrestle anymore because you get injured too much.
Luckily, nobody was seriously hurt this time, and everybody got to go home and watch back their efforts and put it all online. But can wrestling in fields and broadcasting on the internet lead to landing a lucrative job as a professional wrestler? The Frontier Wrestling Alliance is the UK's biggest wrestling organisation and also trains people to compete in the professional ranks. Every weekend, the pros mix with the rookies, showing them how to wrestle scientifically and most of all, how to wrestle safely. But even after all the training, accidents can still happen.
Often you fall badly, you hurt your back, your neck. Luckily we're trained. Okay, you still get injured, but you're trained that much better to maybe fall in the correct position and not really hurt yourself. but mainly there's breakages. Anything can happen, really.
Pro wrestler and the FWA's owner, Mark Sloan, knows firsthand about receiving permanent injuries.
I was dropped on my neck when I was training. I would assume it's damaged some nerves and stuff in the back of my neck, so I don't know. I never actually went and saw a doctor about it. I just carried on.
But pro wrestlers take a dim view of teenagers' backyard wrestling.
The attitude of kids these days have changed a lot, you know. People throwing themselves off sheds, and you know, I even heard somewhere about some kids in a flaming table in their back garden. It's like, it's stupid, you know. That's not wrestling. That's stupidity, you know.
These guys don't want to then come to a school, get trained, learn from the start, learn how to wrestle properly. They just want to go and hit each other with frying pans, throw each other off tables, through tables, off chairs, whatever, because they can't be bothered to go and get trained themselves. It's just lazy.
The WWF is big business in Britain and the USA, but could it be fully responsible for backyard wrestling? Most wrestling videos are rated 15 or 18, so children can't watch them. But Dave McMahon thinks that friends with an aggressive disposition will react badly to wrestling, leading to backyard wrestling matches.
They have a raised potential propensity for violent behaviour. It seems to me fairly self-evident and fairly intuitively correct that when one observes a group, that one often sees an emergent level of aggression from the group which appears to be greater than the sum of the individual potential parts that each individual brings to that group setting.
So wrestling could lead to possible copycat situations, but the pro wrestlers say that the responsibility shouldn't lie squarely with backyard wrestlers.
Parents are responsible. Murders are shown on TV and films, or sex scenes, whatever, so by putting on wrestling and saying that it shouldn't be on because children are going to copy it is complete bollocks, basically, because it's down to the parents to stop their children doing that and to supervise them. Children, you know, they're going to copy stuff. You can't stop it. It has been seen as a scapegoat, and it's unfortunately because it gives wrestling a bad name, because anybody involved in wrestling knows how good and how good the people are that are involved in it. They'd never actually willfully hurt somebody.
I see a video that one of my kids is watching, and it has 18 or warning or whatever. I will not let him. I'm sure when I'm not there, far from putting him off, that is maybe something which intrigues, and he can go and talk to his mates at school tomorrow.
Now, at the start of every single wrestling video sold in the UK, there's a written warning discouraging viewers from trying to recreate any of the moves they see on TV in their own home. However, backyard wrestlers choose to ignore these rules. Professional wrestlers train for years and compete in a spring-mounted reinforced ring, whereas backyard wrestlers compete on the cold earth, meaning that they're more prone to injury. So far, there have been no deaths concerned with backyard wrestling, but with the constant glare of the camera and the peer pressure of their friends, it's only a matter of time before someone tries to pull off the most dramatic move, and it only takes one mistake to cost somebody their life.
Don't do the crazy stunts, you know. It's like, I'd never condone it, but just don't try anything stupid.
Don't backyard, basically, because someone's going to get killed.
And here we go.
But Dale's making sure he isn't the first victim, and has set his sights beyond wrestling.
After university, I'm hoping to go into films and maybe one day, it's a pipe dream, but be a film director. I didn't want to go to the production side. First of all, I want to go and get the theory side tackled, so when I do eventually make films, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Directors like Spielberg and Scorsese done it, so I feel like I should be able to.
And he's mocked it! Sorry, Lagos! Oh! Right across the forehead, and he cannot. But Tristan is going to be known as a dead man! Oh! And the ankle! Through the screen! Oh! Big Yoga! Starts now. Oh! It's going away!